Hey you guys, welcome back. Welcome back to my channel. This is episode 2 of my new self-care series. If you're new here, last week I did an introduction just to kind of introduce the series and let you know what I'll be sharing. Again, we're going to be talking about all things self-care, but before we get into like self-care routines and different situations, I wanted to do an intro, and I also wanted to do a little get to know me, I guess if you want to call it that. Reintroduction, my journey, my upbringing, just a little bit of everything. I just want to start at the beginning. I felt like I could not just come on here and be like, hey guys, so go get a massage. No, we're gonna take it all the way back and build up to other things. Also, I want to keep these episodes like really small, bite size. That way we have more to talk about for the upcoming weeks. I don't want to just throw everything big into one video and then get stuck. So we're doing bite-sized episodes, and the more you guys engage, and I'm hoping you do, the more you engage, ask questions, share experiences, then that will kind of help me, build on that. So that's my focus. So today I'm going to be talking a little bit about my upbringing, and that will kind of lead into what I want this episode to be. All right, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Shamoya. I was born and raised in Jamaica. I left Jamaica when I was 18 years old, migrated to the US, was in Florida for, 7 years? I was in Florida from 2008 to 2017. And then with job opportunities, we ended up in Nevada. So that's where I'm at now. I'm in Nevada, close to Vegas. That's why I tell people every time they ask me, where you live? Close to Vegas, close enough to Vegas. So yeah, that's pretty much my little journey of life, if you want to say that. So let's take it back to like my upbringing. So I was raised very, what you guys would probably call strict, reserved, go to church every Sunday, Caribbean culture, Jamaican culture, all that good stuff. No regrets, reserved for the most part. Obviously kids are gonna be kids, teenagers are gonna be teenagers, all the regular stuff. All the regular stuff. But for the most part, go to church, sing on the choir, do stuff in, be a part of everything like that, and go to school. I was always in the top portion of my class, good grades, all that good stuff. But if you grew up in the Caribbean culture, then you know how it is for a community. You don't really have your voice. Obviously, you're a kid, so you have to do what your parents say and all that good stuff. But I grew up in a culture where I feel like you couldn't speak up for yourself with any issues. Like nobody was confiding or sharing down to earth life experiences. That's the best way I can put it. And what I mean by that is like, you grew up, you're a kid, you do as you're told, you go through that portion of life. Like I said in episode 1, you don't see your parents really taking care of themselves. You see them working. That's what you grew up as. They're hustling, they're working. Next thing you know, you're a teenager, you get your first period. Nothing is broken down to like prepare you for certain scenarios. Not in our culture for the most part, if you know what I mean. Like sat you down and really say X, Y, and Z, and you should have a voice. And I mean, for the most part, women, not in Jamaica so much where women didn't have a voice, but I'm just saying like the woman take care of the house, all that good stuff, and they just don't talk about things. They don't talk about things. That's what I'm trying to say. So I feel like there was nothing really to prepare you for being an adult. Like I didn't get that experience of, all right, you're gonna be 18. here's what you're gonna see out there. Here's what you do in these situations. Here's how you deal with people in this type of way. Here's how you say no to people. Here's how you deal with conflict. I feel like there wasn't like down to earth conversations from anyone about those things. So for me, which sometimes I'm actually impressed with myself in a way, because I'm like, a lot of what I learned was from me observing, whether it was things I didn't want to go through because I saw someone going through it, or the things I want to do opposite of what I saw. So the struggles I saw around me made me say, okay, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Or maybe this is the way I should do it because I've observed, or I have observed similar situations. So I hope that makes sense, but I just wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit because I feel like maybe the people I know now, they don't know my upbringing. They don't know the culture of what you grew up in. And I'm sure a lot of people can also relate in a lot of different cultures, just that certain things weren't talked about. Self-care wasn't a priority. It was more so working is a priority. Working and taking care of the basic necessities was what was done. So again, most of what I learned was not from me asking questions, was not from me being spoken to about certain things, but more like observation and just learning from things around me. I'm definitely that type of person who will just observe and learn. That's how I was. Then we were surrounded by people who was always judging. Let me know down below if you can relate. When you grow up in a small community, most of the time everybody knows everybody. Everybody want to tell your business or what they think is your business. You are not free to do anything because you know it's gonna end up in a rumor or it's gonna be taken out of proportion. That was the culture. I learned early to not trust people. I don't know. It was just something to where people would know me and talk to me, but they would not know everything about me. There's still people, still friends that just don't know everything about me. Because I always felt like if I open up to people, if you're vulnerable to people, it's gonna become something that it shouldn't be. It's gonna either be spread around, you're either gonna be judged, become the talk of the town, all that stuff. So that's the first thing I learned, was I didn't trust people entirely, and I wasn't free to speak up because, again, the judgment, just the things you're surrounded with, you just felt like you couldn't just open up, speak to people in that way. So yeah, that was the culture of just rumors. And even when you're trying to be good, even when you're getting good grades in school, somebody's gonna talk about you. Somebody's gonna say something, and that just makes you put up that wall of protecting yourself and just not talking about it. So I wanted to point that out because I feel like that affected me transitioning from that to an adult. So again, came to the US, found a job, started working and going to school. I was working at McDonald's. I worked at McDonald's for 5 years. And it kind of transitioned from that culture of people talking, judging. It translated into my early years in Florida because, again, small town. At work, everybody knew everybody. Everybody talked about everybody. And again, the wall. And I met some good people. We had some great times, but that wall was always there. So going from that into meeting my husband in 2009. So I'm only in the US 1 year learning how to be an adult. And we moved in together pretty quickly. If you guys want to learn, or if you guys want to know about our journey as a couple, we do have a couples channel. It's called Mike and Sham. I will put the name on the screen. We shared our how we met, couples stuff, fertility journey, all that good stuff over there. So make sure you guys check that out. But we moved in pretty quickly due to certain family issues and stuff like that. And quickly I had to, like, I didn't know what to do because we were in situations where I didn't know how to say no. He didn't know how to say no. You didn't want to speak up when people hurt you. You didn't want to, you know, confront. I was always scared of confrontation. Like me, I've always been that way, even as 6 years old, 7 years old in school. Whenever somebody was like arguing with me or wanted to fight, I would always walk away. I do not like confrontation, but if you push it, you know, a whole nother story. But I was always very reserved in that way. So being an adult and being faced with things where, okay, we have to be adults, and these things started to affect you mentally because you're not happy with the situation around you, the people around you, and things happening or things people are saying or things people are asking for. You're not happy with it, but you don't know how to say no. You don't know how to handle it because you're scared of offending anyone. You're scared of arguing with anyone or somebody cutting you off, or all these things, all these fears of just life. And that translates into affecting you mentally. And that's why I wanted to give this whole backstory, because that was a key part of me focusing on myself and now having a good self-care. Like, I can say for the most part, a good solid self-care routine and journey now because of all those things. So at first I was always like keeping everything in, never want to speak up about it. You would never know if you hurt my feelings because I would not show it or tell you that you hurt my feelings. I would just take everything in, and then I would sit down in the corner and it would all be my head, just circling around in my head. And eventually I did break down a couple times, broke down to my mom a couple times. I remember breaking down to my boss at McDonald's at the time, which she was kind of a family friend as well. But at some point in there, I realized, no, this can't continue. Something has to change, because if something doesn't change, who knows what's gonna happen. Those things led to me doing things which are considered part of your self-care, but at the time I didn't know it was self-care. I knew I had to make changes, but I didn't know they were considered things I was doing, or there was a name for it at the time. It was just me doing it because obviously something had to change, and I was miserable, unhappy, sad, all the emotions. So if you can relate to that, just let me know down below, like, how was your early years? Like, at what point did you learn, or if you're still learning, how to start a self-care journey without, you know, even knowing at the time. So yeah, that's my little backstory of my, again, I keep saying backstory, but that was my little story of just my upbringing and my journey, which led to me making certain decisions that now I can look back and say, wow, I'm glad I did that, because if I didn't do that, who knows where I would be mentally at this stage. Don't worry, I will give some examples without, you know, digging too deep into the other people that were involved or anything like that. I just want to build up to, or I will give you guys examples as we talk about certain things like family and relationships and stuff like that, but I'm gonna leave it at that for this one. So I had to find my voice. I had to find my voice in every single way, family, friends, and that helped me somewhere around 2013, 2014 to actually start making better decisions for myself that was able to translate into a self-care journey. So hopefully that whole thing made sense. I know it's kind of like all over the place, but yeah, if you enjoyed this video and if you can relate as well, don't forget, like I said, let me know down below, what are your thoughts on that? How was your upbringing in that way? Was it different from mine? Was it the complete opposite? Let me know down below. So yeah, that will be it for this episode. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in episode 3 next Monday, so make sure you're there. Bye guys.